Good afternoon, good evening, LinkedIn friends, Value First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative intelligence report. It is Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. Happy Tuesday night, Nico.
Happy Tuesday night, good friend Chris. How we doing, sir?
Doing all right. Actually get to show this countdown today so everybody can see. It really is sealed. Unless I ask AI to unseal it. There's no way for me to look at these.
I love it.
I haven't figured out how to like to actually have anybody see that it's a countdown until right now. Until right now, we started a little early, so I guess that's the key to all this.
It
Um,
is.
how are you doing, man?
Doing all right. Uh, you know, couple two, three things today that are pretty decent in terms of news. We'll see what the guys have cooked up for us and see if anything that I saw manages to make it into the top three. That's really where I'm at this point. Is like, hey, did the story that I saw that I think is significant to AI also make it into the top three, or was it just a matter of like, yeah, they picked three stories that were just way better, and I wasn't paying attention in the right direction? Maybe.
It's a fun little gotcha game. That's for sure. And we just get to give our feedback after or during the show, and then next day usually gets better. Um, so we'll dive in since we got it up. Number three, Anthropic will put an invisible watermark on every Claude output worldwide. I now know what
Mm.
Oaks's post was about. Um, in text, it is embedded directly. SVG, PNG, and JPG files carry signed C2PA provenance metadata instead. The rule is European in origin, tracking the EU AI Act Transparency Code that took effect August 2nd, and it covers models released on or after that date. For any team that drafts with AI, the limit that matters is that a detection proves handling, not authorship, because people also edit, translate, and summarize with it, and no public detector exists today. Verification tools are promised with no date, and heavy editing, translation, format conversion, or a screenshot strips the mark.
Hmm.
Baby steps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's about as good as that that poison app that they, or like the code or what have you that they came up with for generated images, which nobody is using for whatever reason. Um, Look, I think it's great. Um, I don't know what the point of it is. Like I'm not even like I don't know. It was so relevant 6 months ago when people were still like, I don't know about the AI output though, and like I don't know about this, that, and the other. I have heard multiple times in the last 2 weeks, which is recent, mind you, but in AI time, that's basically like the last month. So I've heard multiple times people say, "Did you run it past GPT? Did you run it past Claude? Did you run it past our agent?" So, and this is coming from Charles Schwab. This is coming from interviews with CFOs. This is coming from interviews with um, CTOs. It's not, and from a panel, from a World Economic Forum panel. These are not people who, you know, just your average white collar, workers. They're not just your average. They're not startups either. They're not SMBs. These are enterprise level companies saying, yeah, well, I mean, you might as well just run it past the AI to make sure that what you came up with it aligns with what it is we want to do. So I've already seen the reverse of the human approval bar, which is not strange to me to have seen it this early in the game. Again, prediction is by December, no one cares. Not only by December does nobody care, but like right now it feels like it's getting towards 50-50. It feels like it's like 60, like 40 in favor of like, hey, pass it by AI before we go out the door. Maybe that's like 70-30, right? But I'm telling you, by December, it's going to be crazy that it's 70-30 in the other direction, if not 80-20, where it'll only be 20% of the time that somebody doesn't like that says, no, put somebody else on top of that after you get the AI output.
Yep.
Sound effects coming
Yeah.
through.
It's yeah, we're almost there. Like human consumption habits usually win out. And if a thing delivers the emotional response or the dopamine hit or the whatever, we're not going to care like what generated it in either direction, right? It's not that we're just not going to like human stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're not going to stop asking where it came from. We're going to stop asking where it came from. And like I'll never forget the first time, and this is an example of like it's not like I just like, oh, exclusively I only listen to music from Suno anymore.
Right.
But the first time that I started up Suno in the car on my phone, and within 10 minutes, I had a song that sounded good enough. I mean, for me, and it's that feeling like because I made it, I thought it sounded awesome, right? But that delivered that feeling of just creative potential. And then what do you do when that stuff happens? You're like, oh man, look at this thing. Like, check this out, listen to this, watch this video.
Yep.
And if that's how you're receiving, like, oh, come on. You just made that with Suno. You
And
just made that with GPT. Like, no, people don't respond. Like our friends, our close networks, like referral, like all of these things where you feel the human energy is like somebody needs you to see something right now. It's
the
like
urgency.
just
Yeah, I
all
mean,
of these preconceived conditions. And this is the thing where like digital has always messed around with this, where like when you're human to human, you treat each other differently. You don't dehumanize folks. You don't like otherism goes out the window when you're like face to face with another human.
mm-hmm.
And it's the same deal when we're sharing this kind of experience with each other. It's just like the experience, the sharing comes from the human themselves, and like the content enabled them to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. You wouldn't have done that with me. We wouldn't have had this shared experience if not for that content.
Right. Oh, and by the way, Suno just sent out an update to its policies today that includes, because before people were like, oh, well, what a scam, because you can only get commercial copyright if you're still a member of Suno. First of all, I don't know why you wouldn't continue your $10 a month membership if you're going to be making oodles and oodles of money thereafter. That sounds pretty ridiculous to me. Whatever, be it whatever it is, get it, fine. Just download them. Now you can just download your songs, whatever you created, and you own it for life. You don't have to have a membership anymore. You can go put that stuff on a CD or whatever, get it published by whomever and put out there, and now you have your own music. So that's, and even if you didn't want to pay the $10 a month, the crushing $10 a month, which I can tell you from personal experience can get you about, after you've like messed around with it enough, even the $10 a month can get you a full album. Like you can mess around with it enough that you'll probably get at least one, maybe two albums of music done. And by that, I mean like anywhere between like 16 or so tracks per album. And it sounds pretty ridiculous to say that, except for the fact that as soon as you start playing with it, you're going to be like, wow, okay, so let me just keep going and I'll tweak this thing. And oh, that's better, but let me tweak this thing. And oh, that sounds cool, but let me just remix it with this. And oh man, let me just change this little thing. And then all of a sudden it's awesome, right? And to your point, you're like, I don't know if it's just awesome to me or like if everybody's going to find this awesome, right? And I mean, I've got tons of different like playlists. I've got two bands basically that I've built out that, two different types of, not different types of music, but they cover two different genres. And I listen to them all the time to the point where, sucks that I made this comment to my wife like a couple months ago. It's like, it sucks that I'm never going to be able to see these people live.
I know, right? But like this is happening. Like I'm pretty sure this is going to come true.
So isn't it weird to you where people are saying now, like, live in the moment, don't live on your camera on your phone, like taping what you're watching live. But now that you're listening to something that like can't be seen live, there's this FOMO of like, man, that sucks. Like this band is so good. And the reality of it is like all you're doing is essentially like cooking your favorite music. It's just all the things, it's all the notes that you love to hear the way that you love to hear them, right? So it is this like it's the same as vibe coding. Honestly, it's very much I think the same feeling. But yeah,
Right. And this whole layer of like proof of concepting to take it to like even like sniff the next level of quality. Like I've gotten a ton of compliments on the Another Orange Morning uh theme song,
mhm.
which is like a whole genre of music that I never would have like it's like AI said, all right, this is the theme of the show. What kind of song makes sense? What kind of genre? All right, Claude, prompt, like give me a prompt for Suno. Goes in there, like it just hits right away. And like I tweaked the lyrics a little bit. Now a bunch of people love it. And it's like, you know, um uh like in the mind worm category. Like it'll get stuck in your head for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point like, you know what? You know what'd be awesome? Is if I could have somebody really play this at Unbound. Like like a human, playing this. And then I was on with Aaron and Trisha last week, and like Aaron's like, "Oh, I could play some banjo." I'm like, "There we
Wow.
go." Like just going right in the other direction, right? And like I would have never that opportunity would never have presented itself. Like should that transpire, like and it's like the unlock, the creative unlock, right?
I mean, like, that's
People
actually
sleep on.
awesome. We should, there are plenty of musicians in our group, and I don't think it would be a whole lot like, us to bring instruments and stuff like that. So, yeah, that'd be very cool. Be very cool to have, like, Another Orange Morning. Here's the live band that plays the cover where it's a live cover band of the digital track of the original digital track by
Right? Oh man.
oh that the world
Can we just let's just create.
yeah, singularity soothsayer.
Oh
Oh,
man. Number two, OpenAI released a purpose trained cybersecurity model that only trusted partners can access. It is GPT 5.6 Cyber, and it arrived with the Daybreak Defender program split into blue covers, incident response, malware analysis, and patch validation. The recommended start for most defenders. Red covers security testing and vulnerability research and is the only side carrying the new model. Accenture, IBM, CrowdStrike, and Cloudflare are on the list. Capability now travels by vendor relationship. Already real, AI agents have compromised Hugging Face, hacked a gym website, and created fake profiles to socially engineer an intrusion. Fully autonomous attacks at scale are the lab's forecast.
so
Yep.
I caught that on Bloomberg earlier, and The question that got brought up there was really interesting, which I also would love to know the answer to, which is that, hey, so the stuff you had happen last week then, was that like, are you guys testing the new and you had that stuff go against your new stuff to see who could get past the goalie? And that's what happened? And you're just not telling us the second half of that story, basically? Because that's weird. That's so weird that, like, 2 weeks after you have this, like, like, not even a week after you have this, like, crazy breakthrough in security from your own model that was plotting against you the entire time, apparently. And a week later, you're going to be like, hey, we have cybersecurity model now. Really? I wonder how the hell you got that one. I'm assuming that, it's like, again, we were just talking about this yesterday. I'm assuming that we're at that alpha zero stage where you're just playing one against the other. And now reality's at stake. These people actually, like, so far as I could tell, right? Open systems actually took some hits. Nothing detrimental that, like, crippled a business or anything like that. So I guess it's not. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but that's exactly what this feels like. It When they brought that question up, they were like, "So does this have anything to do with last week's cyber attacks?" And I'm like, you know, I think it does. I'm really sure that it's got something to do with it. Like, it kind of makes sense now if you're going to do that. And people really need to start asking better questions. I get that, look, long term, it's great. It's going to cybersecurity professionals first before anybody else. I get it. It's going to, like, I'm sure as soon as it's done with those guys, it's going to go to banks next, crypto firms after that, so on and so forth. I'm very sure this is going to be the cadence go forward. It will be that the model company creates the new model, government approves it, goes immediately to IT cybersecurity sector. They finish with it, immediately goes to banking sector. They finish with it, goes to investment sector. They finish with it, probably enterprise business sector. They finish with it. When I say finish, I mean roll out, and then everybody else. So we're definitely going to have those gates on the way down. And honestly, if you're about to even remotely try to use that as a platform for bitching about anything, take it easy. You already have something in your hands that's more powerful than what you need anyway. At this point, it might cost a lot now, but in, like, again, 6 months, it's not even going to be that much of a cost. So it's so crazy to me, man. It's so crazy to me. Like, by the time we go to Unbound, there's going to be something stupid powerful already. Somebody's going to drop something, right? Well, 3 months, 3 months will, or no, 2 months will pass, which I think is actually the mark at this point, right?
Yep.
See, I gotta look. What's the cadence so far this year?
Oh, what's this?
Uh-oh.
Number one, an unreleased
Did they find it?
Claude model pushed a 90-year-old bound. Pushed a 90-year-old bound on the Riemann zeta function from 41.6% to 67.2%. It is unconditional, meaning it does not assume the hypothesis is true. Reaching it took 2 sessions, about 60 coordinated subagents, 31 million output tokens, and 2,400 shell commands. That orchestration scale is the part to study if you run agent work.
Yep.
2 of the lab's own mathematicians and 2 outside experts examined it, and a machine-checked lean formalization passed the standard validation tool. The hypothesis is not solved. In the lab's words, we don't expect that the techniques Claude used will lead to proving the Riemann hypothesis.
Got it. I don't know anything. Look, math is not my strong suit, but at least from what I can understand, they essentially put it up against a very, very difficult mathematical hypothesis. And I can only assume that the current percentage is, yeah, 41.6%. So it was at that point. Now it's at 67.2%. So it's getting there, right? I don't know what the significance is in terms of like, is this a hypothesis that like science, like math and science really wants to know the answer to, and nobody's even been able to scratch the surface of, or like,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's find out. Uh, the Riemann zeta function describes the distribution of prime numbers. Each place that the function takes the value of 0 contributes successively finer detail to the sequence of primes. The Riemann hypothesis is that the zeros that determine the primes all exist along a certain vertical line. This has become one of the most consequential conjectures in mathematics. Many results assume it in order to provide a form of randomness in the primes. No one has yet been able to prove or disprove the Riemann hypothesis, but mathematicians have made progress in many related directions, studying the Riemann zeta function and its zeros. One of these, as above, is quantifying a minimum proportion of zeros that are on the line. Over time, they've gradually increased this known constant proportion to 41.6%. And long story short, Claude has brought that number up to 67.2%. And I'm still not really sure what we're talking about right now.
yeah. I mean, this is one of those things where I just have to like ask a model like,
Yep.
hey,
Attaboy, Claude.
Claude recently, pushed a 90-year-old bound on the Riemann zeta function from 41% to 67%. What does that even mean? And how does that even relate to the rest of humanity? What's the importance of proving that hypothesis? Let's see what we got here. I just love throwing the most natural language possible. And I gotta say, Chris, the experiment that I've been running, been doing really, really good. So about a couple weeks ago, started getting extremely frustrated at using technical and like technically correct language with the models in order to get results, and was getting frustrated because it seemed to be missing a lot, and models seemed to be just like taking it very, very seriously and like way too laser focused on like every little thing that I was saying. And so it just like became this breakdown of like, oh, okay, well, this just the methodology just doesn't seem to be working anymore. So I'd actually just, dumbed it down and decided to just ball up what would have been a very complex request into something akin to, hey, make this work. And yeah, the results were pretty astounding. Pretty astounding by comparison to all of the efforts of using like all this, technical language and know-how and all this other stuff. And I felt good and bad at the same time, because it was like, oh, it's great because I'm able to move forward and do what I need to do. But it also sucks pretty badly because it kind of just disproves the need for humans to know any of the like the, and I mean, ultimately that's the point, right? Is to get you to produce the output, the valuable output, without having to know all the intricacies. Look, not every auto worker at the UAW understands how all of those machines work. I guarantee it. There are plenty of those machines that put stuff together on the cars where humans aren't even anywhere near them. And I'm sure that there's repair guys that know what goes on there. But I'm pretty sure that like the auto worker that's all the way down the line or what have you has no idea what the machine way up front is doing or something. Maybe they do. I don't, again, like the odds I think are very low. The whether they care what the machine is doing, do they care about the technical stuff that it's doing and the technical names of the welds and whatever it's doing, right? It's It's like, no, do they need to know that to do their part in the assembly? No. So at the end of the day, like, do they have to care about that? No, that just has to get done so that they can do their aspect of things, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's always one of the biggest uh, sore points when new models come, or like whenever there's a raise in volume of complaints as to how the models are behaving. It's like, man, this thing can't follow directions anymore. It's like every time I've heard that, it's like, well, just maybe try a little bit more natural language. That's what these things, and I naturally like to play with the English language,
mhm.
like so it actually, you know, benefits me a little bit. And usually, if I'm starting to get frustrated, I immediately look in the direction of like, where did I try to direct the framing like more than I should have, or like something that has basically caused this direction that was unplanned or unexpected. And it always works best when I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on, but it was good yesterday. It's not good today. Help me out here. Like, those have been the most breakthrough moments. It's like, and of course, because we're not like, I'm not an AI expert. I'm not a
Mhm.
coder. So to suggest, it's like, all right, Claude, let's troubleshoot this. So let's go through every line of code, and I'm the guy with no expertise at all is gonna help go through and figure out exactly where we went wrong, and then I'm gonna know how to build instructions to prevent that in the future. Like, nope, that's not how this game works at all.
No, no. And honestly, it's going to get to a point, I think, where people start to realize that and they start to actually come to terms with it. Again, I think it's gonna have to happen sooner than later. I don't think people have much time. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I don't disagree, but and at the same time, it's like better move. I don't know, better move. We've been here. We've been saying it. We've been talking about it. So it sucks that it's. I don't know, for anybody that's not ready to change the way in which you think about how you approach work and how you approach solutioning. I don't know. Hold on. Hold on tight. So the breakdown on the Zeta, uh, the Zeta thing, and even Kimmy shortens it to like, hey, the RH. It's just like I don't even want. I don't even want to. I don't even want to waste the tokens for a Riemann hypothesis. Um, so the significance to us is crypto. It's cryptography. It's that if it's able to break this, it introduces a new form of random cryptography that's usable, more than likely something that can be used obviously for banking systems and to strengthen their security, I guess, against normal AI systems. I don't know, right? I think all of this stuff starts to, I guess that's what the race to super intelligence, or like the race to general intelligence, is kind of all about, right? Is if you could get one of these systems that deals heavily in security to get to that point where they're able to like self-secure, whatever, increase their own knowledge, teach themselves about how to make the system more secure, and you get that into place quickly enough, right? Then that just sort of equals, hey, now you've got the most secure system. You can't, it's like you just pull the ripcord and I guess let it go. I don't know. I, I don't know what you do with it after that. I don't care what anybody thinks. Like, even with the sci-fi movies, we're so far off on that stuff in terms of like, hey, how would the AI act and how would the AI respond to stuff? Like, you really do. You have to be like just the coldest person possible and really just remove all like rational human thought and leave nothing but like objective fact on the table. And then everything gets like calculated. It's not even a matter of like, oh, should we rationalize these things? no, you have to quantify them first, and then you you can calculate them, and then whatever the answer, whatever the probability ends up being, is what the answer is going to end up being. Which is funny because I think everybody keeps telling me that language models are just really big prediction engines. Oh, that's weird. So yeah, this stuff is getting smarter faster than we can possibly imagine. Somebody else was trying to tell me that it's not all that smart, and it's like, look, we can't pass, I think, 6% or something like that on humanities last exam, and these things are up to like 62%. So yeah, sure, right? Like whatever. I like that's fine. Um, they're now solving math problems that we've never been able to solve, and I don't even know if that's a matter of like we could never solve, right? Because we have this. Here's the weird part, right? And what Kimmy is saying about the study is absolutely right. One thing that, and I was watching a video about this last week. One thing that really has been blowing my mind is the difference between when you need to solve something and you have a model focus on it singularly, or when you need to solve something and you allow the model to research the solution from a swarm aspect. And it's two very different things, like solutioning as a swarm and researching the solution as a swarm are two really different things. Because just using swarm to get stuff done, okay, cool. And it's, it again looks like an automated factory, and that's awesome. But that's just going by, whatever the solution, whatever we think it is, right? Whereas like researching in that swarm fashion is just like, hey, it's like that movie Next with Cage, right? Just like take every avenue possible and try to solve the problem using every avenue that you can find, and then come back and let's build the collective best possible solution, and then we'll move forward with that. It's like the most possible, like the most, powerful way in which you can solve problems. It is, bar none. There's no other better way of solving an issue than by looking at it from every possible angle that you could, which requires a different type of mentality. So, like, swarm intelligence in terms of humanity was this really interesting concept. And at the same time, when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that's how we did, atomic power, right? We did it by swarm intelligence. All of the greatest problems that we've solved, whether it was like engineering, mechanics, whatever it is, it was solved by swarm intelligence. Even the current like companies that we have, they have teams. They don't have like one or two people that are at the forefront of everything and it's just them. And if not them, then nothing else happens, right? It's teams of people that work together to get the stuff done. So if you have a machine that again is like higher level intelligence than the entirety of humanity combined applied towards a problem, right? You're not able to go above that level of intelligence anymore. So yeah, I think, look, putting stamps from Claude on images, you know, that's probably gonna be a good one. Even on text, it's gonna be a good one, I guess, for schools now or something. I don't know. And then on images, I don't know who that really affects. I don't like businesses don't really care where you got the graphics from. Just don't get sued. That's like the
Yes.
Bible thing to go by is like no one cares, just don't get us sued. That's pretty much it. Um,
Right.
and if you made it in Claude, what who cares? Like, oh no, it was made in Claude. Like you didn't make the chart. Claude made the chart. Does it show the right data? Yeah. Who cares? Like then like what are we
Yeah.
talking
Does
about
it
now?
explain it? Does it explain it to sales or finance better than you ever have before in your life? And now they're bought in to the process faster than everybody thought they would be. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
focus on what's possible and the value instead of liability and jealousy.
The
Like,
quiz.
basically, it's
The
like
quiz.
either we are like, it's either CYA or it's, well, I spent 10 years of my life learning how to do this. That's not fair that Nico can just spin up a new game.
Oh
that
yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
So
I love
how do we stop that? Like, you don't, first of all. And like, who the fuck are you to want to do that? Like, why? Like,
I don't know what to tell you. I That's one of the things that I was thinking about when it comes to swarm intelligence is like, we would be able to like compete maybe on some level with the machine, assuming that we were capable of doing that, like actually saying to ourselves like, oh, you know what, we're just going to do it by the swarm. We're not going to go by individual anymore. We're going to make it a team effort, right? Yeah, then maybe we get somewhere. But unfortunately, everybody has to have their name on the building, right? It's gotta matter. People got to know who it was that was in charge of something. Nobody knows who works for Elon Musk. They all just think that Elon does everything himself, right? Look, I'm not saying that having the I'm not saying that like being either being Elon or being um, uh, Steve Jobs. I'm not saying that that's not worth anything. Being the idea guy is definitely worth a lot, and he happens to be the idea guy with the money, right? So it's clearly worth a lot. At the same time, it's not really like him, just like it wasn't really Jobs, right? Like there's obviously an effort that goes on there. So um yeah, I think we'll get there. I think people will get there. I think the technology will get there. Hopefully it's going to be there by December. I don't know why I keep putting a lot of faith on that. I know that 2030 is going to be immense for everyone. But I just think that December is going to really change in terms of the attitude towards, do we trust this output? Like, I think that changes things. I think that really changes the game when we actually admit to ourselves, yes, this is legitimate. We can trust this is the right information. Like, imagine, because right now, before we were stammering ourselves, right? We were doing the data, we were crunching the numbers, and we were saying, oh, is it right? Oh, did so and so do it? Okay, go check with this person too. Check with that department, run the numbers again. Let's find out, right? A lot of manual stuff. Now we're going through AI, and it's like, okay, but did you double check the output from the AI? So at least we've cut like 4 to 5 steps or 3 to 5 steps down to two. But I'm telling you, after December, there's 0 steps because it's just like, hey, ask the AI what the thing is. Boom. Okay, let's go. So, like the productivity, in case you haven't been watching what's going on in on the Wall Street level, at least, most companies are up at least 80% year over year. A lot of them are showing 100%, 103%, 105%. Some companies showing 216% year over year. Um, just talking about like revenue earnings by comparison, right? And it's almost entirely due to efficiencies. If you look at the underlying, in many cases, it's not related to increased funding that was sought or related to headcount that was cut or anything like that. It's legitimately related to rollouts of AI programs and rollouts of or shifting track to an AI track for whatever the company was. And I don't see that going down. I see those values only increasing. And now that you add the aspect behind it of, like human efficiency. So it's like, where's the AI efficiency? Where's the AI efficiency? I think we're less than 6 months away from like actually surface seeing it. Most people haven't seen it because they're not looking at the financials. Only management looks at financials. So that's why you're not really seeing it. If you're not at a management level or if you don't care about it from a financial level, you're not really seeing it. All of these stories, I should say all, these handfuls, if not, I think it's like maybe one, of stories related to companies who are screaming from the rooftops about the bills that they have for AI token spend. Not seeing those anymore either. Turns out they went and looked through their numbers and realized that somebody, in many cases, people were looking at the numbers wrong. They were looking at the token spend estimate. They weren't looking at what the token spend actual was going to be. A lot of people had their own calculators that were miscalculating the token spend. Surprise, surprise. Human error got involved, skewed the numbers. And at the end of, because I'm sitting here wondering, it's like, how is it possible that like I can do so much and churn out so much, and I'm doing it on a budget of like $100 or $200 a month, but these guys are talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, what could possibly, what's going on, right? And yeah, a lot of it had to do with just R&D. So token spend, like, even though the token spend got reported, nobody looked at or talked about what it was getting spent on. And I don't know about you guys, but in the history of business, there's never a higher spend than R&D. So it made full sense to me. All those numbers added up. And again, the revenues from them, from the companies that are actually deploying this technology properly. I'm not saying that that's everybody. Not everybody understands it. They are seeing the ROI. They are seeing the benefits. They are seeing the increases. So I don't know, come December, I think everybody is going to be seeing them. And then it's going to be this like seriously undeniable force. And I think we're also going to be seeing a lot more, you know, I get it. I get why tagging it now, because again, like by December, we're going to start seeing like first full-fledged movies. Going into next year, man, I have no idea how many full-length movies we are going to see going into next year. It's going to be nuts. Like 2027 will have more AI generated films than human produced films. And I'm not entirely sure. I want to say there's at least US probably 300 or so movies made in a year, maybe. I don't know. Close to that, let's just say. It's going to be like 4 or 5 times that number in terms of AI movies. And it's only going to just exponentially increase throughout the year, too. Like, that's the scary part. So, like, Hollywood can't do that. That's the competition. That's what they are realizing. And this whole thing of like, yeah, but what's Hollywood going to do about it? They are going to try to figure out how to scale, because people are going to be able to scale, right? And again, it's not even, I got to tell you, while the writers, I think it's just a little bit short-sighted. And I get it, because you live in California, so it's not like you can really like shoulder the burden of financial distress for too long, right? But you get one of these tools under your belt, and as a writer, if you're really talented and all that kind of thing, man, now you're the director, now you're the actor, now you're everything, right? You have your own studio. So I think like the amount of content that's actually going to come out of Hollywood based talent next year is going to be insane, right? I think even for like music producers, I know Timbaland's been one of the biggest supporters for Suno when it comes to music producers. I cannot imagine how many more like beats and tracks and whatnot are just getting churned out constantly. Like, same thing for EDM, same thing for, I'm not sure, however many genres you can think of, right? Like, the amount of content is insane to me. So it's weird. I wasn't believing those numbers when they were like, oh yeah, the amount of content on the internet this year based from AI stuff is like the equivalent of the last 10 years. I believe it now. I do. I genuinely believe it, that like the competition now is between like uploaded content, which is hopefully not like, I don't know how you could necessarily compare the two, right? Because you could obviously download a picture from Midjourney, upload it into Facebook, and that technically counts as like not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how you would be able to measure it, but I definitely know that just the number of AI generated things is going to be in like the probably it's definitely double digit billions, probably triple digit billions by now already this year. I'd imagine like between the coding requests, just that in and of itself has to be pretty insane, right? Outside of the everyday requests. So across all models too, if you were to do those numbers, that I'm sure that starts to just look crazy in terms of like how much AI is getting used. So well, I don't know, like that to me, I'd love to see what that number is, just to see if like, hey, how many people globally are actually making use of this? Like what does it look like, right?
Who's actually building cool stuff like Flywheel?
Very cool stuff like Flywheel. So not available yet. Oh, there it is. I'm not sure why.
All right. Cliffhanger for tomorrow, then?
No, actually, it should be pushing it live right now. So we did manage to get multiplayer kind of going, and we can play it now. Hope you can hear. We have some sound effects. Trying to get some more professional sound effects going. Let me just copy this invite link and send it over to friend Chris over here. So you can jump in. I'm not promising the greatest experience just yet, but definitely hoping to get there. I really, yeah. Sounds are definitely a little over the top.
A little loud.
A little loud. I'll have to definitely think about it.
Wow. I'm just hoping.
To mute that for now. And yeah, so definitely I'm pretty sure on your screen you can see what I've gone over. I believe I can see what you've gone over. And I think for multiplayer it basically just paints the color for the blocks one color or the other, player's color or opponent's color. Did it from a sort of like Pac-Man top-down view because I think that it's a little bit easier on processing for mobile as well as desktop if you happen to be playing desktop against desktop for whatever reason. Yeah, so you can see here that all of Chris's stuff is orange, and I can't I don't think, I can't consume it, but if there's other stuff around it that he didn't manage to get, then I can get what that is. So
here we go. Coming back. Coming back. Give me some BCEC.
It becomes competitive pretty quick, right? Like that's the fun, or at least the funny part I found to it was that like, yeah, this can become a very competitive game like very quickly. It doesn't have to, like, even when I was playing against the computer, I was just like, oh, I used to be understated in terms of how much fun the computer's like, yeah, well, you might want to check it out, maybe make sure that players are going to enjoy a more simplified version of the game. I was like, yeah, that is something.
100,000. Wait, what?
Oh yeah, I mean, are you taking down the
BC?
Yeah, that's quite a bit of bricks.
Man, I'm only seeing 16,000 points on my side. This game is garbage.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, is it showing you an incorrect number on your side?
Yeah, it looks like both of our point totals are frozen.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I think that's where we'll wrap for today. Oh, now I'm just hearing it on my side. So let me close that browser.
I want to see if hold on 1 second. If it got the sounds for it's normalized on other levels. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully I can get
we're
it to
having
be
way too
yeah.
much fun over there. Um, and it's like, this, uh, from a craftsman perspective, like just imagine little by little every day on the way to Unbound, like what's this going to look like? It's going to look amazing. Um, and I look forward to seeing it. Uh, so for our Tuesday episode, until tomorrow, I guess, which will be Wednesday, everybody have a great evening. We'll see you next time.